Welcome to Fayetteville in Focus, the city's program highlighting stories from around the city.
Every 2 weeks, a new episode will air on Fayetteville, the City of Fayetteville's government access channel. Fayetteville airs on Channel 7 on Time Warner Cable. It's also streamed online at fayetteville.net.
And if you like what you see, there's plenty more that can be found online by liking the City of Fayetteville on Facebook or following us on YouTube.
We're going to start out our show this week by taking a look at some of our recent happenings in our Fayetteville in 5 news segment.
And September is National Emergency Preparedness Month and is the feature story for this episode. And wrapping up the show, we'll take a look at some upcoming events in the calendar of events segment.
You know, some of our favorite events of the year are actually coming up in this next month.
Not just yours, Gavin, but the entire community. Behind the Dogwood Festival, our community's two biggest annual events will be coming up in the next few weeks.
You know, I think with the weather starting to cool off without getting too cold, and not to mention our really good fit, I can't really wait to try out some of that.
You're getting ahead of yourself.
I guess so. Why don't we get back to our show and take a look at our news segment. Traditional calendar schools are back in session, and please exercise caution in and around school zone, neighborhoods, bus stops, and around school buses. Allow yourself extra time to reach your destination in the morning and in the afternoon. You can also expect a higher than usual volume of traffic on the roadways during the mornings and afternoon commutes. Remember, speeding in the school zone carries a $250 fine, plus court costs and insurance points. Another thing to remember is that passing a stop school bus carries a $500 fine and can result in a revoked license if you're found guilty of passing a stop school bus more than once in a 3-year period. When a bus has the stop bar extended and lights activated, vehicles must come to a complete stop and wait for the bus to deactivate stop lights and begin moving before other vehicles can start to move. The only time cars in the oncoming lanes don't have to stop if there's more than 4 lanes, including turning lanes, or if there's a physical barrier separating the lanes of travel, such as a median.
I'm here today to announce my retirement from the Fayetteville Police Department and also from policing. This completes a 28-year, including all of my service time, a 28-year career in policing. I am the luckiest man in the world to be able to have done this job. There's several things that have happened over the last weeks and months that have led me to this decision. First, I have been working at this pace, and most of the folks that work with me are going to be shocked to hear it, but I've been working at this pace since 2004, since I was a division commander in Charlotte. And I didn't remember that until my wife shared that with me the other week, that we've been going this speed for that long. And so now it's time to take care of myself, get healed up from these nagging injuries that I have, and take care of myself, take care of my family.
Chief's retirement will be effective on December 31st, but his last days running the Fayetteville Police Department will be on September 30th. Chief Medlock shared during the press conference that he's taking time off before retiring to have surgery for his shoulder. The chief took over the department more than 3.5 years ago, and just a few of his accomplishments of the department under his leadership include changes to the department structure and expanding to 3 districts, hiring more police officers, expanding the department's community policing efforts, introducing a closed-circuit camera network, purchasing body cameras for patrol officers, and helping to rebuild connections with the community. Less than a week after his announcement, Chief Medlock was surprised by Governor McCrory when he was presented with the Order of the Longleaf Pine, one of the highest awards presented by the state. Before announcing his retirement, Chief Medlock presided over the Fayetteville Police Department's promotion ceremony and basic law enforcement training graduation ceremony that was held at City Hall. The ceremony began with the promotions of Assistant Chief, Captain, Lieutenant, and Sergeant, all of whom have been working very hard and succeeded in serving the police department and the citizens of our community.
I state your name.
The basic law enforcement training graduation for 11 men and women represents over 800 hours of training since the academy began early this February. The newest police officers will now embark on their next chapter in their careers as they undergo field training with training officers over the next several months. Once they've completed their field training, the officers will be released to solo patrol. The Fayetteville Fire and Emergency Management Department was recently reaccredited by the Center for Public Safety Excellence. The accreditation is in addition to the recent ISO Class 1 rating awarded to the department from the Insurance Services Office. The international reaccreditation means the department has been recognized for having standards and processes in place to provide the highest quality of service when responding to fire, medical emergencies, and disasters. Kudos to the Fayetteville Area System of Transit workers and riders for collecting school supplies for local children. Together, they collected over 6 boxes of school supplies during the Stuff the Bus Back to School drive. The supplies were donated to Cumberland County Schools to be distributed to homeless families with children in our community. Work crews are busy replacing the footbridge in Festival Park across Cross Creek. 2 cranes are brought in to move the original footbridge to its new location next to the Ray Avenue Bridge over Cross Creek. A new bridge is being installed to accommodate and improve the flow of pedestrian traffic that is heavy during festivals, concerts, and events at Festival Park. The 2 halves of the bridge were swung in by cranes and joined in the middle over top of the creek. The new structure is twice as wide and will help to eliminate bottlenecking issues and improve access parking and downtown amenities. Crews are working to complete the bridge in time for the Folk Festival later this month.
September is Emergency Preparedness Month, and with me today we have Randy Beeman, the Director of Emergency Services with Cumberland County. Randy, tell me, how important is the collaborative effort between the county, city, and all the various departments whenever a natural disaster hits?
It is very important to collaborate in protection of our citizens and also safety. Safety very paramount, and so through the collaborative effort with the city and the county, we operate a joint command through our Emergency Operations Center here in Cumberland County. And through that effort, we bring together the responding agencies, that would be your law enforcement agencies, as well as state assets if needed. And so through that effort, it is very important that we work together, and we do. We constantly are in contact with our city partners, and through not only the Sheriff's Department, the police departments, but also our fire services, our volunteer fire services, our paid services, and involving themselves in the response of whatever that emergency may be.
And are there any programs that citizens can sign up for to be alerted in the incident of an emergency?
Absolutely, and we certainly encourage our citizenry to reach out to a software that they can go to online with the Cumberland County website. And on that, they will see up in the top left corner of the main website, a code red is what it's called. And they have the option to receive notices of severe weather through either text messaging or their cell phones or their home phones, whichever they desire, and they can sign up for that. Very important option and opportunity for safety of our citizens.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Okay, now we're going to learn more about what you can do to stay safe. A natural disaster can happen at any time, and when that time comes, it's better to be prepared than to wait until the last minute.
A hurricane's a good example of one of those natural disasters, and it's been quite some time since we've actually experienced that directly in this area. But our preparations for that kind of include, one, the luxury of having advance notice, typically 3 or 4 days for people to get prepared for it. And what we ask that they do, first and foremost, they can develop a kit with important sorts of things that they might need in the event of a disaster that they have to go somewhere. That kit is typically put together for the expectation of 72 hours, and it will include water and food and medicines and any of the things that they might need to throw in the back of a vehicle and evacuate or shelter in place at home. One of the other things that's real important that they do is have a communications plan with family members or loved ones or those important contacts that they might need to reach in the event of emergency. And also something that we've asked people to be mindful of is to have some sort of an evacuation plan. We're always amazed sometimes that people that are new to our city that maybe only know one way to travel or pass, and we ask that they have a plan not only to get out of their immediate neighborhood or surroundings, but if they need to leave Fayetteville, where will they go? Will they go to a neighboring city or out of state or for that matter, what they need to do?
To help citizens prepare for a natural disaster, FEMA offers a wealth of information on their ready.gov website. Plans and checklists are available for download, as well as other information and resources that can benefit citizens before, during, and after a disaster.
We also ask that people take a chance to inventory their belongings and put those photographs or videos somewhere apart from where you're actually living so that it'll be stored in a safe place. Where better else than to load it in some of these services like cloud-based on the actual internet, so that when you have to do an insurance claim or recover what you've lost, you've got some way of proving what you had before it was over with.
Before a storm hits, there are things that the City Stormwater Division does to help reduce storm damage. Street sweepers will clean the streets and storm drains, while stormwater crews clear catch basins and ensure there are no obstructions in the culverts, all to reduce the likelihood of flooding. But for low-lying areas that are prone to flooding, they also pre-stage near known problem areas.
The city tries to set up, pre-stage some barricades and road closure signs in some of our known low-lying areas and problem areas where we might have to close a street or something like that if the water gets too high and the roads become impassable.
Residents can also do their part in preparation for a storm.
Citizens can help the stormwater department by sweeping or raking off their storm drains if they notice that there's a lot of yard waste or pine straw buildup on top of their storm drains. They can also, if they notice that a storm drain isn't working properly, or basically when it's raining, the storm drain isn't allowing the water to drain properly, they can call our stormwater hotline, and that will dispatch a crew to come out and take a look to see what's going on.
The stormwater hotline is 433-1613. Citizens can also call the call center at 433-1FAY or 1329, or use the Fay Fix-It app to report clogged storm drains and culverts. Once the storm begins, emergency response teams shift from preparing to responding to the disaster. Emergency crews are trained and ready to handle smaller events, but for bigger disasters, there are plans in place to activate mutual aid agreements with local agencies and the state. Police and fire are not the only local department who kick into high gear during a storm.
We have partnerships that make all of that possible. We have city streets, we have parks and rec, we have environmental services, so it's all a team effort to accomplish that mission.
After the storm, emergency management shifts into the recovery phase. This is where the non-governmental agencies, such as the American Red Cross, get involved in a disaster. The help they provide can go beyond providing supplies or shelter, but also helping residents with applying for federal aid through FEMA. Some of the most powerful help starts at home, with neighbors helping neighbors and citizens preparing themselves.
The further out that you can plan, the much more better off you're going to be. And we say that we have a 3 or 4 day leeway with hurricanes, and that's great. It's nice to have the luxury of know that something's coming, but also keep in mind we have tornadoes sometimes that accompany these hurricanes, and you're going to get minutes to seconds notice. So if you haven't done something to prepare, you're already way behind, up into the point that it might be catastrophic, even cost you your life.
A sure sign that fall is right around the corner is the Cumberland County Fair. Opening night of the fair is Friday, September 9th and runs through Sunday, September 18th. It's 10 days of family entertainment featuring music, motorsports, and competitions, not to mention the fun rides and great food. Gate admission is $7. Ride tickets and wristbands are available separately. Admission is free on opening night, Friday, September 9th. To see a list of activities and promotions, you can visit the website at cumberlandcountyfair.org. Have you ever dreamed of traveling the world? Well, you can do it in one weekend without even leaving downtown Fayetteville. The 38th International Folk Festival is a way to experience cultural diversity through music, food, dance, arts, and crafts. The 3-day festival takes place September 23rd through 25th and includes favorites such as the Parade of Nations, International Cafe, Native American Showcase, and interactive children's area. The festival is free and is presented by the Arts Council. For more information about the International Folk Festival, visit theartscouncil.com or call 323-1776. Well, this wraps up this episode of Fayetteville in Focus.
We hope you enjoyed it, and if you'd like to watch this or any other Faye TV programming, visit us on the web at fayetv.net.
So remember to like us on Facebook.
Subscribe to us on YouTube.
And keep watching our live stream on our website or on Time Warner Cable Channel 7.
Thank you for watching Faye TV.